Hi guys, welcome back to Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to be talking about the September month reading, and this is going to be a very interesting month. Difficult month as well, because we are going to be facing two eclipses, which is the lunar eclipse coming on around 7th of September, and then around 21st, 22nd of September we will find the solar eclipse coming as well. Now the lunar eclipse will be falling when moon comes in conjunction with Rahu in the sign of Aquarius, while the solar eclipse will come in place when moon will be conjunct with sun in the sign of Virgo around 21st of September. And both of these eclipses will be extremely crucial because they are going to be defining the way we are going to be approaching things. The lunar eclipse is going to be eclipsing our thought process, our decision making, our belief system, because Rahu is going to cast that shadow in your decision making as well. And depending on where this eclipse is happening in your chart, you will be affected accordingly. Whilst solar eclipse is going to be happening again with the conjunction of moon with sun, when moon is going to essentially eclipse over the sun, he is going to be falling right between the earth and the sun. But again, you will have to understand that this is going to be a partial solar eclipse, which is going to be happening in different parts of the world. Depending on what part of the world you are going to be watching this video from, you will have a respective impact as well as based on your zodiac signs. So without further ado, what we are going to do now, we are going to look into some of the important dates that are going to be coming into picture in terms of transit and understand what's going to be meaning it for us. Now, guys, as you can see on your screen here, that Sun is currently in the sign of Leo until 15th of September. And then for the second half of the month, it is going to be transiting into the sign of Virgo. Now, Sun has been in its own Leo sign, but imagine it has been in difficult situation with its conjunction, with its collaboration with Ketu in the same house so far. Then Mercury is in Leo until 14th of September, and almost a day ahead it will advance into its sign of exaltation in the sign of Virgo from 15th of September onwards. So predominantly both Sun and Mercury are going to be remaining in the first half of the month in your Leo sign, and then they will together transit a day in difference into the sign of Virgo. Venus is in the sign of Cancer until September 14th, and it is going to come into the sign of Leo, where it will become conjunct with Ketu from September 14th onwards. Now, that is going to be very crucial, and we are going to analyze as to what sort of an impact we can anticipate there. Mars is in the sign of Virgo. It is there until September 12th, and from 13th onwards, it is going to be moving into the sign of Libra. Jupiter continues its presence in the sign of Gemini itself in Chatra. So that is a good bit that is happening there. And it is going to be in the sign of Gemini for the month of September. Remember, October is the time when it is going to be moving into its sign of exaltation. Saturn is continuing in its motion of retrogression, and it is in Pisces in Uttara Nakshatra. And the most important thing, guys, you have to understand here is that Saturn will be coming into deepest retrogression because it will be bang opposite to Sun as well from the second half of the month. So it will be getting into its deepest retrogression during the month of September, and that is where its impact becomes extremely crucial for all of us. Lots of things happening. Saturn getting into deep retrogression, two eclipses as I was addressing before, and then Rahu is in Purva Nakshatra of Jupiter itself in the sign of Aquarius, while it is coming out, in degrees. So it is coming out of its Bal Avastha. It is going to get a lot more strength in its itself. But the lunar eclipse is where it is going to cast its magic, and you have to be very sharp, shrewd in terms of understanding what sort of a impact it will have for you. And then Ketu, of course, is sitting in Pur Falguni nakshatra itself of Leo of Venus, which is where he will be becoming conjunct with Venus. So, guys, without further ado, we will now deep dive into your monthly reading and understand that what these transits are going to be impacting and how they are going to be impacting you for the course of the month. Now, Scorpios, as you guys can see on your chart here, there's a lot of planetary placements on the right side of the chart for you guys, but the eclipses are coming in the 4 and 9 axis for you, which means that your lunar eclipse is going to come in the picture in your fourth house in the sign of Aquarius, where moon is going to become conjunct with Rahu, and that is going to be on 7th of September. A couple of days before that, as well as beyond that, which is from 5th September, 6th September onwards till about 10th of September, I would recommend you that you guys do not jump into major decision making. There is going to be a definitive lack of mental, emotional peace that you could face because of this coming eclipse coming into picture. And remember, this eclipse is with Moon, who's your ninth lord. Now, Rahu, he has been moving in terms of degrees. It has come out of the edge of the house, so to speak, and it is going to come out of the Balavastha that it was in. And this would mean that this magnanimity of Rahu, expansionist mindset of Rahu is definitely going to be coming into picture. It is going to make you think big and bigger through the course of the next few months, all the way till December of 2026, like we had alluded. But the fact that the eclipse is happening in the fourth house, you are bound to feel some emotional turmoil, some challenges with respect to your assets, with respect to your property, any kind of decision making around any of this, with respect to shifting your house, with respect to purchase of a new property, purchase of a new asset, with your mother's health as well, with your emotional way of articulating your thought process. All of it has to be kept in check, or you have to figure out curb that expression, because Rahu likes to brings its illusion, its mysticism, its smoky behavior, and it might cloud your judgment in the way you react to things as well. So keep a deep watch as to what is happening there. This Rahu is also in trine with Jupiter, which is in your 8th house, and from the second half of the month onwards, your Lagna Lord Mars will also come trine to both of these planets, because he is going to move into the 12th house as well. So you see, those fiery, aggressive energies are going to grow, they are going to build, and it is not necessarily a bad thing, but the way you choose to articulate your thought process, your expression is going to remain very crucial here. Before we jump into what Saturn's retrogression is going to be talking about, let's touch upon your Lagna Lord itself. Now, your Lagna Lord is placed in the 11th house, and he's the 6th Lord as well. If you're watching this from a Scorpio moon sign perspective, that also remains critical, because he is going to give you the ability to find gains. He is going to make you motivated to chase gains, derive gains, overcome your enemies, problems that you're facing from your enemies, change that into opportunities as well. But at the same time, from there, it is giving an aspect towards your 4th house, 5th house, and your 6th house. So, yes, you will be protective towards your savings, protective towards your family. You could be rude as well sometimes towards your family members, aggressive towards your children if you are a parent watching this video, and aggressive towards your colleagues, your peers, your competition, your enemies. So you have to take a stance where, keeping in mind this eclipse coming into picture, you have to navigate that path very sharply. We will talk more about Mars movement into the 12th house as we move towards the second half of the month later. But let's touch upon that Saturn. And I alluded at the start of the video that Saturn is going to come in deep retrogression in this month, because Sun will be bang opposite from the second half of the month in the sign of Virgo all the way till mid of October. So this is going to be the duration when Saturn comes into the deepest retrogression, guys. And it becomes crucial for you because he's the third lord and the fourth lord. In a retrograde motion, a planet has its highest degree of cheshtabal, highest ability to strive harder, to work more, to push for things. But given he is your third lord, you will see that there is going to be an excessive amount of effort that you are going to be required to put in. Your mental peace will require you putting in excessive effort towards that direction as well. So you see, this movement of Saturn is not an easy one. And whilst I did allude earlier that Saturn's retrogression is going to bring some degree of relief with respect to the problems that you are facing, in your job front and stuff. They are going to be a little bit heightened. Why am I saying this? See, the third lord is 3 places away from itself in retrograde motion in the fifth. You are going to try and pursue every creative measure possible within your capacity. Your fourth lord is second to itself and in retrograde motion, which means from your knowledge perspective, from your desires perspective, from your family throne perspective, your assets perspective, you would be trying every bit possible from your side to make things happen. But it will take time. Saturn is a slow moving planet. He slows things down, he complicates things, and his aspects are retrograded as well. He gives a retrograded aspect towards your seventh house. You could be facing difficulties with respect to your marriage, with respect to your marital relationship, with respect to your business. Things might be requiring more efforts from your end, and it can build in certain degree of frustration as well, because that retrograded impact is coming towards the fourth, being the fourth lord as well into the fifth house. So that could build up that frustration within you. Now you will realize that there could be unnecessary complications coming in your marital life, in your partnerships, in your business relationships as well. And that is where you will have to navigate, where because of the eclipse coming into this month, do not take any stance which is adding to those complications. Do not get into situations that complicates those matters more. He is giving an aspect to your 11th house, means your gains will be there, but they will be delayed. They will require that additional bit of effort. They will require that additional bit of karma from a 10th perspective. And many a times you'll get this feeling that you putting the right efforts in the right direction, but you are not getting the acknowledgement, not getting the due adulation, the due respect. And we will talk why is that happening. It's the Ketu's presence which is disturbing there too. But the same Saturn is also giving an aspect towards your second house into the sign of Sagittarius, albeit a retrograded aspect there too. And that also means that from a family like perspective, there could be just lack of peace, there could be disturbances. You could be the center of the gravity all around things, all around the family affairs and matters that are also taking a toll on yourself. You will have to be careful towards your health during this entire period, because it will take a mental, physical, psychological impact on you. Lunar eclipse is going to trigger that at the start of the month, and it is going to amplify with the solar eclipse coming into picture. So keeping that into your scheme of things is going to be crucial. Now Jupiter, which is the lord of your second house and your fifth house, is placed in the eighth. Now of course, I had called out that this could be resulting into some speculative gains. It is going to impact your savings. It is going to continue to focus towards your positive growth as well. Jupiter is in its own nakshatra as well. It is square to Saturn right now. It takes some time before it gets into that small degrees of exaltation into your ninth house in October, November, and December period. But more importantly, you see, Jupiter is present in the eighth, which means that going towards research, looking inwards, learning new things, figuring out how you can tackle all these problems with a spiritual bent of mind is going to be very important. He is going to make you, or he is going to expect you to lean in all those areas. Your children could also be the backbone of your support during this time. Your family could be the backbone of your support at this point in time, but they all could be navigating with the same degrees of challenges, troubles coming your way. So be holistic in your thought process. The good bit is that Jupiter is in trine with Rahu, and Mars will also get the support of Jupiter, though in the 12th house it can bring certain other challenges that you have to think of. But from a spiritual perspective, from an enlightenment perspective, from a moksha houses getting activated perspective, that enlightenment, that upliftment of your soul, of your mind, body is going to be crucial in the month of September. That is going to help you navigate these difficult scenarios. Venus, which happens to be the lord of your seventh house and your 12th house, is currently placed in your ninth. Now, business is going to require a lot of effort. Business partnerships is going to require a lot of effort, and things are still going to work in the right direction. Hopefully, your spouse could also be working with you, traveling at this point in time, and they could also be partnering with you in terms of expanding your fortune. Whatever troubles you are anticipating from your bosses, superiors, See, because moon is getting the lunar eclipse, there will be issues, but it will not be fatal by nature. It will not be detrimental to such an extent that you have no path outside of it. That is the good thing. That is what you have to keep in mind. Now, please understand that Venus's movement will be towards your 10th house, where he become conjunct with Ketu. But before we talk about what happens in the 10th house in the second half of the month, let's look at it what's happening in the first half when Ketu, Sun, and Mercury are becoming conjunct in your 10th house. Now, Sun in the 10th house would bring that directional strength, aggression. He is the Lord of the 10th house itself. You would not be leaving any stone unturned when it comes to your effort, be it with respect to your education, taking care of your family, working in your job, or running your business. Whatever sphere of life you come from, Scorpios, you will be putting the right efforts in the right direction. And to add to it, the Lord of Gains is also sitting, though 12th to itself, but in the 10th house itself, where he is getting the directional strength, which is Mercury. But he is also the Lord of the 8th house, means there will be sudden changes, twists, turns that could come with respect to your work front, which you had least anticipated. Do not worry, it will not result into any major loss. You have the ability to come out of it positively as well, because later Mercury will become exalted. But the problem that I'm seeing is that Ketu's presence in the 10th is causing major difficulty. No matter that you have Sun in the 10th, being the 10th Lord itself, the effort getting due adulation, the effort getting due acknowledgement, because 10th house is your house of respect, you gaining that heights is going to be a percentage below than your anticipation, because Ketu expects you to work without desires. As humans, one of the most difficult things for us is to disassociate ourselves from the desire and just focus towards the process. It is not an easy way to navigate things. And that is why I say that there is a lot of confusion, commotion, problems coming in from a 10th perspective, where you could be putting in the right effort, but it is not reflecting in the right direction. Now, since the lunar eclipse is happening in the 4th house, it is going to have an impact towards the 10th as well, where you will see that any kind of hasty decision, any kind of rushed decision can result into an impact from a workflow perspective. So try and remain consistent. Meditation is going to be crucial for you guys during the course of this month. Connecting with Shiva, if you're going through Saturn, Sun, Moon, Dasha, you will have to be cautious during that period as to how you uh, address things. You have to look into your natal chart and understand your natal dashantar dashas as well. But the transitory impact can play down with a much more impact if any of these planets are playing out for you in your natal chart as well. Now, uh, as we move on to the second half of the month, what we find is that Venus, which is the lord of your 12th and your 7th house, is moving 11 places away and 4 places away, respectively, into your 10th. I do not mind Venus's presence into the 10th house, but his conjunction with Ketu is a crucial one, and it is a difficult one, which means that there could be a certain degree of separation, emotional separation, challenges coming in your business. There could be separation or trouble coming in your marital life, in your partnerships as well, in your business relationships, in how you perceive your connections with the market. But remember, if you are associated in a international business, in some kind of multinational corporations, in terms of health, hospitality, in terms of import and export, then it will deliver gains as well. You will have the possibility of deriving gains, but you have to follow what Ketu expects. Focus towards your path, focus towards your process, and not towards the outcome, because Ketu can very well be a denier, liberator, slasher, disassociating personality when it comes to the outcomes of those efforts. Or, the sheer lack of effort from your side could also diminish. So that risk is what you have to work towards. During the same period, you will find that Sun will come in the 11th house with an exalted Mercury. Now, this is a great thing happening in a normal scenario, but right now, what you will observe is this will trigger around 21st of September, the solar eclipse as well. When Moon will become conjunct, he will come between the Earth and the Sun and will be casting that solar eclipse. It is a partial eclipse, not available all over the world, but still, Scorpios, you are going to see certain repercussions of that coming into your 11th house. The other bit to note is that coming into the 11th, Surya is going to become Nicha Bilashi, means he is going to be aspiring to go towards debilitation. So it already kind of dials down the mood of Sun as well. And he is your 10th Lord. He is your soul. He is your belief system, your priorities. And thereby, whilst with your own hard work, you have the possibility of deriving good gains because Saturn is in deep retrogression, because solar eclipse will be coming into play, it could not be or it might not be to the satisfactory level. What do I mean? You are working in a large corporation, you want to make a job switch. Probably it helps you. You get a promotion, but you do not get the salary correction that you are aspiring for. You make a job switch, you get a decent job, decent paying job, but the increment may not be enough, or the job designation shift may not be substantial enough, or if the designation shift is more, then probably the company might be smaller, something of that sort. So you have to navigate that with your own life and understand what sort of an impact can come for you in with this regard, because Saturn, as I said, is giving that retrograded aspect to the 11th. It is going to make you rework. Hard work is going to be required for you to materialize that gains. And whilst a very good yoga, 11th Lord in 11th house itself, eighth lord in exaltation in the 11th house, very good from a monetary gains perspective, because it can bring in sudden success for you, sudden wins for you, sudden closures for you, sudden job shift for you as well. All those things can happen for you, but they might not be to the zilt of your satisfaction. They might not be to the utmost degree of what you desire. If and on the eclipse bit, because Saturn and Sun will be bang opposite to each other, and given that all the caveats I've been calling out with respect to Saturn, I would suggest here, guys, that do not jump into any kind of aggressive conclusions. Why am I saying that? Is because Mars, which is your lung lord, he is also going 12th to itself, or from a Rashi perspective, if you're watching from a Scorpio moon sign perspective, it is going 12th to itself, which means it could be a physical or an emotional loss. It could be a loss with respect to your efforts, hard work. You might have to put in more energy into something. Saturn is already asking for it, and now Mars is also expecting you to do that. You might have to fight harder. But the good bit is that any kind of unknown enemies who are trying to strategize against you, who are trying to overcome you, you will have the ability to tackle them as well. You will be able to tackle the unforeseen circumstances as well as your known enemies, your known competition at your workplace, in your job, because he is giving an aspect back to his own sign. So you could be surrounded with a lot of difficulties, you could be surrounded with a lot of challenges, yet you will be able to overcome those problems as well. This Mars will be giving an aspect to your third house, an exalted aspect coming into your third house, which means you are going to bring magnanimous amount of effort, energy in your in or the courage that is required for you to sustain. So that's a good bit. Yes, he is going to the 12th. I anticipate certain losses coming into picture, but there those losses could be translated into expenses, investments. A simple remedy could be just donating blood, or giving sweet food in a temple. Those kind of activity in a spiritual place, doing certain kind of charitable activities. What kind of charity suits? Anything related to Mars is going to be a good charitable activity. So doing those kind of things are going to be especially positive for you. You are going to find positive outcomes there. Mars is going to give an aspect to your seventh house. This is like the Mangal Dusha coming into picture, not the best period for somebody to get married. Any which ways, Venus is in conjunction with Ketu. If you have plans around it, I will urge you to please do not navigate in that direction. Not one of the best month for anybody to get married. Even Pitra Dosha is going to be coming into picture from this month onwards. Shraddha would be coming into picture. You see, a lot of things are happening because of the eclipse. And that is why dealing with these kind of issues with a calm mind, with composure, and you will have that composure because of Mars, is going to be suitable. Proactive donation, proactive charitable activities are going to be very suitable for you in the month of September. All in all, I think this is a challenging month. Guys, it's a challenging month for everyone. It is not just for you, Scorpios. I've mentioned this to Capricorns, Aquarius, the other zodiacs as well. But the bit is that your Lagna Lord, and to a certain extent, even Jupiter, is putting its foot forward in terms of helping you out, come out of those problem statements unscared. If not unscared, at least you will have scars, but you will still come out victorious. So keep that in mind, folks. Navigate dreadfully. And if you feel that the effort is in the right direction, I request you to please click on that like button, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching Dave Astrology.